अर्ली डिटेक्शन का एक और फायदा, डॉलर सस्ते होंगे.
Honestly, so yeah,
You all have the BRCA gene. What's the good news? The test is free.
It's like the three things that I chose were: I want to be fearless, I want to be at peace, and I want to be chill. Literally, these were my three words that I used. And when he comes into the bathroom, I'm literally with my eyes open and my mouth open and saliva dripping. I had fainted.
I guess इतना अदरक पी लिया, now you're like हर चीज में ही अदरक है.
Oh my god, yeah, probably.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of the Pakistan Experience, and I will let the guest introduce herself क्योंकि उन्होंने 3 पैराग्राफ भेज दिए थे और मुझे
I told you to edit it. I told you please pick out whatever you want from here.
Who are you, Zahra Khan?
No, you guys already know 3 paragraphs.
इसी तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि आप बताएं क्योंकि किसी ने नहीं पढ़ा.
I hate this question. Like, what do you tell? What do you pick and choose?
Zahra एक LUMS की ग्रेजुएट है.
ये बोलना जरूरी था.
फेलो LUMS ग्रेजुएट ना, फेलो LUMS ग्रेजुएट, JWT में काम कर चुकी हैं बहुत साल. और एक चीज जो आपको पैराग्राफ में नहीं बताई गई कि ये एक स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन भी रह चुकी हैं.
Yes, former.
That's how I know Zahra. She once came to me and she said मुझे अपने पेरेंट्स का मजाक उड़ाना है. मैंने बोला this is the play.
I cannot be sending this to my parents anymore. Forwarding them the link.
Wasn't that your bit?
It was. Yes, one of it. One of the bits were about...
That was your main bit.
I can't send this to my parents anymore. I cannot. I sent them the link and I'm like, oh, Papa, look, I did an interview today. Check it out. But this one, I won't be able to do that anymore. He will be super offended.
Zahra's friends and family, जो भी ये सुन रहा है, please इनके parents को भेज दीजिए.
No, don't send it to my parents. I love my parents. God bless them.
We only make fun of those we love.
Yes,
so
that's true. That's true. That's a good one.
So आज हमने सोचा कि we should talk about breast cancer and in general जो जिस तरह बात की जाती है, I feel like ठीक है, लोगों को बता तो देते हैं कि breast cancer is a thing, बट उससे आगे कभी कॉन्वर्सेशन जाती नहीं है. तो आई इनवाइटेड यू सो दैट वी कैन टॉक अबाउट योर जर्नी.
यस,
तो wherever you want to begin.
Sure. So, I mean, we've always known breast cancer exists. Pakistan mein, throughout my life, I've just been hearing chhati ka cancer. To be honest, it used to just like be a blur in my head, ke chhati ka cancer. It just sounded very unapproachable, just hearing chhati ka cancer, for someone like me. And it was very easily ignorable. But I mean, every October you see awareness campaigns and whatnot, and some of them are very questionable as well, I'll be honest. But one thing that...
Kya matlab questionable?
Questionable because they have very personal interests in doing these campaigns. Like, they're not really doing it for the purpose of awareness, but more about like your own...
आप तो है ना कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड से, आपको पता है कि वो कूल लगता है कि एज अ ब्रांड आप ये कर लें, मैराथन फॉर ब्रेस्ट, it'll be like good brownie points for the brand.
Absolutely. And not just for brands but even organizations. It's like a checklist, like tick, okay, we've done an engagement activity revolving around breast cancer. So like the intention sometimes I feel is a little... Actually, after having been diagnosed with breast cancer, now I'm looking at it with a critical eye, and I do feel...
पहले तो आप ब्रांड्स को खुद बेचते हैं.
बिल्कुल, exactly. I was actually on the other end. So the tables have turned, and I do feel... So that part is questionable, the intention, but what it did do, at least with me, is that I'll use a brand jargon, marketing jargon. Top of mind pe tha mera. Say yeah. It was on my mind. While I didn't do any self-examination in October itself, but 3-4 months later, I just randomly decided to do it because it was, at the top of my head, and I was like, why not? There's no harm in it. It's very easy. You don't need to go to the doctor or anything. You just literally need to touch yourself, actually. And I did while I was changing my clothes, and I discovered a lump. It wasn't protruding out or anything. It was just there, and there were no symptoms that could tell me that, you know, there's something wrong with me. I was absolutely as normal as one could be, living life completely normally, except I just had a physical, internal lump inside me.
And you didn't feel like lethargic? Ya kuch is tarah koi issue bhi nahi?
Nothing at all. Completely normal. Shadi season was still actually happening, and it was in the midst of it. I was making cheesecakes. I was doing I had my job, everything. My family was over. My brother was here from Riyadh. My sister was here from Germany. So everyone was there around us and everything. And I just discovered it. But at that time, like, you don't know if it's cancer or anything, because there's a long process before you find it out. But yeah, I just discovered it, and I was like, okay. I didn't freak out, I'll be honest. I think as a person, the kind of person that I am, I'm not like, I'm dramatic, but entertaining dramatic. Like, you know, humorous dramatic. Like, oh shit, mujhe cancer ho gaya. Not like you won't be seeing me in the corner, like, going crazy and in shock. It was fine for me, in all honesty. I was very lucky that way, that it didn't hit me hard.
So when you talk about self-examination, it's literally just checking to see if there's a lump.
So honestly, the way most doctors, etc., tell you to do it, they tell you to use 3 fingers and do like circular motions around your breast and around your armpit area to feel it. And that's the technical way of doing it. But I didn't follow any of those methods. I just was literally touching myself and I found it. Yeah.
And it's different from like generally skin पे swelling हुई भी है इस तरह की चीजें. Do you feel like, as I'm assuming आपका medical background नहीं है?
नहीं है, हाँ.
So did you feel कि अच्छा नहीं ये कुछ अलग है, this is not like normal?
The lump, yes. You feel like a hardened area and you're just like, okay, this is odd. And it must have been around for a while, because when it was diagnosed, it was like 5 centimeters big. So that was shocking for me, because I was like, shit, I didn't check this earlier. I should have, and I didn't, because it's been growing. And I had just come across it in January.
And so you didn't, as in kitne time did...
So I wish I knew when it started growing, like literally.
But do doctors give you a sense that if it's 5 centimeters, तो इतना time हो गया होगा?
They just said it's been around for a while. So that was a little weird, because in my head constantly you keep asking yourself, and not in the morbid way, why me, why did I get cancer, why God. Yeah, honestly, it was for me like, what happened, what did I do, or what could have happened in my surroundings that made this happen. So there are a lot of conspiracy theories that me and my husband would go over, like, you know, where we were living and our
कोई जायदाद तो नहीं है?
Lol. Gosh.
चाचा ने कर्ज.
Gosh, मैं इतना होता मेरे पास. I wish that was one of the reasons, but no, not at all. Me and my husband were living in this house in phase 1, and above our house is the tower, the telecommunication tower. ठीक है, तो हमें शुरू से बोला जाता था कि be careful, इससे तो कैंसर हो सकता है. And I kid you not, I was living there for a year and a half, and then I got cancer. So that's one of the things in our heads. What the hell? What if it was because of this tower? Because you hear a lot of stuff about these towers, right? Another conspiracy theory was that ittifaq se, my best friend from Saudi Arabia, so I used to live in Saudi Arabia for 15 years, born and raised there. My best friend, same age as me, she had breast cancer a year before I did. So she had breast cancer, and then a year later, I got breast cancer. So we were like, what the hell is happening? We were like a trio of 3 best friends. I called up my 3rd best friend. I'm like, dude, just be careful. Watch out, dude, because 2 of us are down. So it was really weird. Like, the coincidence was too much, man. Like,
contagious hai, you both.
Yeah, we were like, what the hell? Yes, breast cancer, any cancer is not contagious. That's one of the myths as well that most of our Pakistanis feel. But me and my friend, her name's Nosheen, we were like, was it the water we were drinking, the swimming pool we were swimming in? Like, what was it that gave both of us breast cancer? So two best friends getting breast cancer at the age of 30 is a very huge coincidence.
Isn't it very common in Pakistan, like 1 out of 3?
No, 1 out of 9.
1 out of 9?
Yeah. And it's usually with people who are older, women who are older, like above 50, 60. But having it at the age of 30 is very young, and it's this new thing that's happening. Like, unfortunately, quite a lot of girls.
COVID ke 5G jo waves hai na.
Yeah, honestly, I swear, like everywhere I look, you hear another breast cancer story.
You're saying कि ज़्यादा हो रहा है?
ज़्यादा हो रहा है, and ज़्यादा young women में हो रहा है.
Is it just because you're on the wrong side of 30 now? So there are people around you. Maybe when we were 18, हमें पता नहीं चलता था because हमारे दोस्त 30s में नहीं थे इतने.
No, I'll be honest. If you even ask people from other age groups, they will never tell you. They won't really know of a case of a 30-year-old or a young person or below 30-year-old being diagnosed with breast cancer. That is becoming common.
So you said you talked about Nosheen where we were swimming or what we were drinking.
What was it? Yeah.
So does it develop early and show later? Yeah.
I don't know.
No idea.
I have no idea. But then, so the next question when you find out if you have breast cancer at such a young age is it in your family? Is it genetic? So like the next question my doctors were asking me was, is it in your family? Family history aapki kya hai? So my dad's side of the family has a lot of cancer, like a lot, theek hai? And my mom's side of the family is completely clear, theek hai? And our whole lives we were told the same myth ke cancer maternal side se passed down hota hai, paternal side se nahi. So we're okay, we're good. ये इसी में भी आपको ये biases मिलेगी कि maternal side से pass down हो सकता है, but not the paternal side. So I was like, yeah, my mom's side is clear, my dad's side has a lot of it. They're like, that's a problem. I'm like, okay, I didn't know this. So then I made an entire family tree. Like Dadi had it, her mother had it, her sisters had it, her brothers had it, my chacha had it, my puppo's daughter, meaning my first cousin, has it right now. So it was everywhere. So we were like, is it genetic? So then there's this thing called the BRCA gene, the BRCA gene, breast cancer gene. And basically we have to check if I had that gene or not, because it basically passes down from generation to generation. So you get a blood test done. I got it done from Zahra Khan, and then they send it to the US. It's an expensive test, $250. उस टाइम पे thank God $250 या कम था, thank God.
Early detection का एक और फायदा, डॉलर सस्ते होंगे.
Honestly, so but also my insurance covered it, thank God for that as well. So yeah, we got it tested, and turns out that I do have the BRCA gene, which is a very dangerous thing to have, because if you have the BRCA gene, you have 80% chance of having breast cancer. 80%. That is like a sure shot chance almost, man. Like Angelina Jolie has the BRCA gene. Okay, and if you have the BRCA gene, by the way,
good positive spin on it.
Good, yeah. Angelina
you know what's
Jolie.
Common between me and Angelina Jolie?
Yeah, literally.
The BRCA gene.
The BRCA gene.
Out of all the things,
I swear to God. So I do take a bit of pride in that. I was like, okay, Angelina Jolie ko ho sakta hai. It's okay, man. I can handle it. So if you have the BRCA gene, and you have 80% chance of getting breast cancer, the only way to minimize that chance or make it 1% chance is to remove your breasts. To remove your breasts, and also you have a 40% chance of having ovarian cancer, and the prevention for that is to remove your ovaries. So this is a big deal, like especially if you haven't gotten cancer and you need to take these precautions. To remove your breasts and your ovaries as a woman is a very difficult place to be. Obviously, because these are kind of the things that define you as a woman, that you've grown up with, like everything, these are parts of yourself, which you can't just imagine leaving. So Angelina Jolie, as a precaution, she removed everything. She removed her breasts. She removed her ovaries. She got reconstruction done, but she did it all. And she didn't have cancer. But she did it just so that she put her life first and ensured that, I'm going to do everything I can to not get cancer, because her mom also had breast cancer. So that is a very scary place to be. So that is the precaution that you have to take.
Shit.
Yeah. So when I got breast cancer, when I knew I had the BRCA gene, the doctor said, you need to get your family to check if they have the BRCA gene. So achhi baat ye hai ke one of the perks of having the BRCA gene is that if one person in the family has it, then baaki sab family ke liye free hota hai test. Yes.
मतलब बहुत ही ज्यादा डार्क क्लाउड की सिल्वर लाइनिंग है, और वो बेयरली सिल्वर विजिबल नहीं है.
I swear to God, yeah. So that my whole family.
Imagine Zahra walking into the house. Good news and bad news. Give us the bad news first.
Yeah.
You all have the BRCA gene. What's the good news? The test is free.
I swear to God.
They just look at you, beta kya ho gaya?
Yeah, okay. No, trust me. It was a
good news and bad news.
It was a good
All
news.
of you have something in common with Angelina Jolie.
I swear. So then my whole family went, got their blood test done, badi khushi se, because it was for free. No issues in that. And when the results came, and the results come like 6 weeks later, my mom did not have the BRCA gene. My dad did. So he passed it down. And then I have 2 other sisters and a brother. My 2 sisters also have the BRCA gene. And my brother has not checked himself because he was in Riyadh. So he didn't have he couldn't get it checked. So we don't know about my brother right now. Inshallah, he won't have it. But point is, when my father has the BRCA gene and my mom doesn't have the BRCA gene, so the children have a 50% chance. Each child has a 50% chance of having it. And out of the 3 daughters, all 3 of them have the BRCA gene. So my dad's genes were pretty strong. Thank you, Papa. I cannot share this.
अब तो वो नहीं देख सकते.
He cannot. Anyway, so now I was the one who got breast cancer. My other 2 sisters who have the BRCA gene, they have not gotten breast cancer. Inshallah, they won't. But they have an 80% chance. So they have to go through the decision of whether they should go through these preventive measures. Removal of breasts, removal of ovaries. And it's a very difficult decision to make. Like, both of my sisters, one of them has literally put her head under a rock. She's like just not dealing with it. She's just like, I don't know what to do. I just cannot think of it right now. It was easier for me to make these decisions because I got cancer. So I had to take these measures. But my 2 other sisters, Saman and Hiba, they are still kind of taking it easy, which they shouldn't. They have a live example in front of them, but it's very tough. It's a very tough place to be.
I can't even imagine. There's not a general test for cancer, right? कि कहीं भी आपके कोई कैंसर है तो आप टेस्ट करवा लें तो बता देंगे, नहीं, right?
I mean, if a cancer is growing in you, then, you can identify it through, so if it's breast cancer, you identify it through mammograms and ultrasounds. If it's somewhere else in your body, you identify it through a CT scan, which is the whole scan of the body.
But you have to know kiss part, like you have to suspect.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's not just a random. You
kahin na kahin.
No. I don't think so. You can't just go for a CT scan, because even CT scans, all of these scans are not good for you because they're radioactive rays. I don't know, like it's just not good for you.
And for men, if you have the BRCA gene, is there like probability कि testicular होगा या ये होगा?
नहीं, so for men, so जैसे women के लिए 80% chance breast cancer होता है, for men it's like 1% chance or 2% chance because they have less breast tissue. Yeah, they have less breast tissue. They have a higher chance of prostate cancer, but I don't know what the percentage is.
Prostate cancer over 50-60 men, मतलब age में तो बहुत common है, which is why US में at least हर साल prostate exam is part of it,
which is very important. Yeah, exactly. So like my dad, he has a BRCA gene, but he's 75 plus, alhamdulillah, and he has been absolutely fine. So he's been saved from it. But it's just crazy. I feel like there needs to be a Netflix documentary on this, on the BRCA gene, and just literally how it is being transferred from generation to generation. And like every family is getting breast cancer or cancer, you know, because of a certain gene. And this is like all the way from India. My family, my dad's family is in India. So the cancer story started there, and now it's traveled to Pakistan, and now I have it. And if me and my husband have children, our children will have a 50% chance of having the BRCA gene. You know, like,
how difficult?
It's very difficult.
A conversation or...
Absolutely. Like when I found out initially, I was like, bus, I cannot have children, because why would I put my child under that, you know? Why would I let my child go through something like that? 50% chance of having the BRCA gene. Like, I literally pray that Babar's genes are stronger than mine if we have children. I do want children, honestly.
Probability kam ho jati hai na? It'll be like 50 into 80. Because if you even have the gene, then it's an 80% chance, right? So 50% chance they'll get the gene.
Yes.
And then
80% chance of the 50%
so
chance.
50 into kam ho jati hai probability.
Really?
Huh?
Wow.
I've done a better job than your grandparents of convincing you to have children.
I swear to God. No, better job than my doctor. My doctor could have explained this to
then
me.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's true. If my husband does not have the BRCA gene and I do, our child has 50% chance.
Yeah.
And if it's a girl, 80% chance. If she has the BRCA gene, then she has 80% chance.
Kam ho jati hai probability, because then there's also a 50% chance whether it'll be, I'm assuming 50% hota hai boy or girl.
Yes, boy or girl mein, haan.
Phir to kam hai possibility.
Yeah. So honestly, like, for the longest time, like, I have had...
This isn't a podcast. This was an intervention by your family. Please come in, everybody.
Brought to you by the Khan family. For the longest time, like, I've had in-laws and family saying, you know, Allah tumhe chand sa beta de. But honestly, that's all I pray for now. Okay, beta de mujhe, because if I have a daughter, you know, 50% BRCA and then 80% breast cancer, like, it's crazy. So I literally now pray कि Allah mujhe chand sa beta de.
Uska BRCA to free hoga. नहीं.
What do you mean?
टेस्ट फ्री नहीं होगा.
नहीं, अब नहीं होगा.
अब नहीं होगा, सिर्फ वही टाइम पीरियड, लाइफ टाइम नहीं मिलता है.
Yeah. I feel like it, but I could actually contest this. उस टाइम तक पता नहीं डॉलर कहाँ होगा.
So it's I always thought कि ये जो carcinogens होते हैं, they cause cancer. I didn't know कि genetic इतना strong था.
No, so genetic is 10%. So I'm sorry, I'm throwing a lot of percentages, but these are things that I've just been
these are
remembering. So cancer being genetic is a very low probability. So my friend Nosheen, ठीक है, when I asked her, she did the genetic test as well. Her nani had breast cancer, ठीक है? When she did the genetic test, it came negative. So her cancer was not to do with genetics. It was to do with, I don't know. We can't answer it.
You gave it to her.
She had it before me. Acha. But she, kya kehte, it could be for any reason. ठीक है? But for me, my reason was genetics. Because it was so strong, the BRCA gene. So genetically, cancer is 10%. So if you have it in your family, don't start freaking out, because it's 10% chance. ठीक है? But normally breast cancer is occurring for a million other reasons, not just breast cancer, any cancer. Like, people with the most health, I'm constantly following stories and stuff. People with the most healthiest of lives, eating the healthiest, you know, doing everything right, can also end up getting cancer, which is so messed up.
Is it food? Is it...
I think it's lifestyles generally. I don't know, because then people say these are things that cause cancer.
That's everything, na?
Yeah, everything.
If you Google, everything causes cancer.
Everything has carcinogens.
Yeah. Literally every single thing.
तो फिर क्या करें? Exactly. But then there are a lot of myths as well. Like, for the longest time we thought microwaves cause cancer, but they don't. That's a myth. People say sugar causes cancer, but it doesn't.
X-rays,
I think maybe baad mein jaake, but I'm not sure. I cannot answer these questions.
Like, again, please, pinch of salt. Can be Google information hai sari, maybe.
Yes.
But like heating food in plastic and stuff like that.
All of those things I've heard as well, but I cannot say yes or no.
Achha.
Like, I know, and like we attended a lot of sessions abhi October mein, where women were talking about the things that they've heard. Things like wearing a black bra can cause breast cancer. You know, that's ridiculous. They think cancer.
किसी डॉक्टर को पसंद नहीं है, काली नहीं बन रेड वाले से रेड वाला पहने के अंदर कैंसर.
Honestly, and then like it's contagious and pata nahi kya kya, like all kinds of crazy things are being told to us, you know?
Like sunlight. But sunlight does, तो फिर बंदा क्या करे? Yeah. And then you also need sunlight for vitamin D.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's really messed up. Exactly.
An eclipse causes. So
yeah.
So there is no like.
There's no answer, man. Honestly, I wish there was. I'm constantly trying to find the answer. Okay, mere 3 बहनों में से I'm the middle one. Why did I get it? Then I start thinking of it spiritually, you know, because I will be honest, like a lot of this journey has been very, you know, bringing me closer to God and like, you know, just giving me positivity and faith. Like it was honestly faith that got me where I am today, that got me through my journey. My journey was unbelievably quick. It felt quick and it was easy. It's very hard for me to say this, and perhaps very privileged as well for me to say this, but I feel, I don't even think like dunya mein, like even if the richest person gets cancer, they can possibly go and get into a pit hole and like, you know,
of course,
be completely like, you know, distraught and everything. So maybe it's not even a privilege thing, it's a mindset thing. So it was my mindset and my faith that kept me going, that made my journey so smooth. I cannot express to you, like, when I was going through my chemotherapy, God, pata nahi Allah ne mere saath kya kiya tha, kya diya tha mujhe for me to just be so chill throughout my whole journey. I went through surgery. I got rid of both of my breasts. I was chill. After that, I went through radiation. I was giving talks in October every single day for breast cancer awareness during my radiation, and it was chill. I traveled. I went to Thailand in the middle, like right before my surgery, right after my chemotherapy. So it was this faith in Allah, and I think Allah just made it so easy for me, because in my mindset, I was constantly like, I'm good, man. Like, it's just like a few months, like 9 months of my life. It's okay, man. Like, say yeah. And I wasn't constantly being negative, like, oh, hi Allah, mujhe ye ho raha hai, mujhe wo ho raha hai, you know, I'm bald, or like I've lost my eyebrows. Like, obviously these things mattered to me, but the way I think I dealt with it was super chill. Honestly, I keep using the word chill because that's literally it was my mantra for this whole journey, to just remain calm and chill.
We should have called you in October.
You should have called me in October. Yes, why? But I'm glad you didn't, because the conversation does not stop in October. Start and stop. That's what happens. That's when it becomes...
Ab baal aa gaya na?
Ab baal aa gaya. That's true. That's true.
I did request, but for effect, but...
Yeah, I know. It would have been more effective if I was bald and looked like I had cancer. It's more like hard-hitting.
No, I actually want to have a normal conversation, because we were talking about this offline as well. All conversations about cancer are just like...
Very scary.
Hi, bichare, and this is...
Yeah. So, matlab, itna taboo ban gaya ke people would be calling me up or talking to me, and they'd be like, Zahra, after you got diagnosed with breast cancer... So, kya kehte hain, is like everything all right? I was like, why did you mute breast? Like, why did you not say the word breast?
I think that's a Pakistan thing.
It's a Pakistan cultural thing.
लोग देख के नहीं order करते.
Yeah.
तो पूछने leg बोलते भाई leg ही.
Leg, हाँ. नहीं, मैं तो कहती हूँ breast cancer बोलने में शर्म आती है, लेकिन breast piece मंगवाने में कोई शर्म नहीं आती.
नहीं, उसपे भी शर्म. लड़के स्निकर करते हैं.
Chest piece.
हाँ, chest बोलते हैं. Chest बोलते हैं, breast नहीं बोलते. Oh my God. Yeah. In like local tikka shops, it's leg piece and chest piece.
Chest piece.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So you said you remove 2, but some people just remove 1, right?
Yes. Okay. So back to the BRCA gene. If you remove one breast, the likelihood of it coming in the other breast is very high. So I did not want to take any chances.
And that's with the BRCA gene. If BRCA gene now, to phir...
So you can take those chances, yes.
But it's still a risk.
It's still a risk. Honestly, I have a very hardcore approach. I'm just what I'm seeing and everything. I have a very hardcore approach, and it's very difficult. I mean, I don't impose my views on anyone, but my approach or my mentality is sab kuch hata do. Like, if you have the chances of getting cancer and having to go through treatment like chemotherapy and radiation, just get rid of it all. Like, don't take these chances, man, because there's so many cases of women getting breast cancer again after having gone through it. That is crazy. Honestly, I tell Babar, my husband, I'm like, agar wapas aayega na, I'm done. I am not doing this again. This is kind of my defeatist approach. Like, I've done this 1 year of like crazy confidence and empowerment and just, energy and all of that. But honestly, like, there's so much one can go through, and honestly, like,
let's get into that journey. But aapne some spiritual ki baat ki thi.
Yeah.
Were you particularly spiritual? Yeah.
So I always believed in, Allah, and I've always been a Muslim and Islamic and everything. But practicing wise, like pass namaz parna, I was not regular with that at all. Like once in a blue moon. But the word, I think, dhikr, which is just remembering and thinking of Allah, that is something I did all the time. So I don't know, it's maybe convenient as well. But even during my journey, jitna main padh sakti thi, main padh leti thi, but I was constantly thinking of Allah. Constantly. And gratitude. Like, I would be going through hell maybe, but I would be practicing gratitude. I'd be just thinking of the good things constantly, like my privileges, everything that I'm being able to do, the fact that I'm able to breathe at this moment, the fact that, so me and my husband, we shifted to my parents' house when I was diagnosed, because we would not have been able to do it on our own. So even having that privilege of being able to shift to my parents' house, having my mother take care of me, and wow, she did such an amazing job. Like, मैं कभी कभार देखती हूँ गाड़ियों पे लिखा हुआ होता है माँ की दुआ, and I just cringe at it. But I swear to God, माँ की दुआ, wow. What a blessing, what a thing. I can't express to you. I'm like, जरूर एक लड़का होगा जिसकी माँ की दुआ लिखा हुआ होगा, like माँ का लाडला है, But I swear, माँ की दुआ and being माँ का लाडला is the best thing ever, and I felt it. I went through it. It's too good. So like that kind of support that I had was just insane, and just being grateful for it constantly.
Parents के घर पे cancer tower भी नहीं था ना?
नहीं. That's why they're like, क्यों गई तुम? क्यों निकली तुम लोग?
This is my problem, man. Like, obviously, पाकिस्तान में एक तबका है जो बोलता है कि बस कुछ भी ना करें, आप कीमो ना करें, हॉस्पिटल भी ना जाएं, बस अल्लाह पे ही चलें. But when people reject that, they go all the way. Then they're like, all religion is bad. If anybody who talks about religion, abhi Asim Khwaja bhi aaye with the podcast, he's one of the world's leading economists, right? And there were a few comments like, why is he talking about religion and his journey? I mean, एक वो पूरा ही rejection आ गया है कि ये हम में भी नहीं है और किसी में भी नहीं होनी चाहिए. But like, even when Marx says religion is the opium of the masses, he also says that it comforts the afflicted. So
absolutely,
ये जो intangibles हैं, आप इनको outright कैसे reject कर सकते हैं? और अगर आप कर भी रहे हैं अपनी journey में, great for you. But why would you look down on somebody else? Because in somebody in your position, I can't imagine without that spirituality or those feelings. And even if God didn't exist in your life and it just was gratitude, जो भी ये unscientific, irrational feelings के बगैर, I can't imagine going through that journey.
No, you cannot. Because, and also like, even when you think of bringing in religion, it's kind of like just positive feelings, positive thinking in your mind. It's manifestation of that. So like, I'm speaking to Allah and I'm constantly just reiterating, thank you Allah, please don't let it come back again. Please don't let cancer come back. I'm reiterating this constantly. And then the whole concept of manifestation, like that's what happened. Like in my duas to Allah, or if I would be meditating, I would constantly be thinking of, Allah, make me peaceful. Keep me at peace during this time. Keep me calm. Keep me, I didn't even use the word positive. I didn't say keep me positive. But being positive was just like people saw my story as a positive story, but I wasn't being like, let's be positive about this. No, I was just like, keep me calm and keep me chill. And I kept reiterating that. And I swear that's precisely how it went. So I feel like even jab aap dua karte hain, you are repeating something again and again. You are imagining yourself at a certain, place. Agar aap kisi cheez ke liye dua kare ki mujhe ye job mil jaye, and you're constantly praying for it. It manifests eventually. I don't know how, but it just does. I don't know like what the energy is or like what's working, but I just feel like it works. And that's what worked for me.
Do you feel like it had a physical effect as well? Ki maybe the pain didn't feel as much?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I don't even want to talk about this because it's so... Everyone has different stories and everyone has different experiences. People have had horrible experiences. And then I don't want to just come out here and be like, but I had the best experience. Because that's very... As for someone else watching this who's going through it, it's very tough. Like, I don't know. It's
so
just...
You're not negating their experiences
I'm
by
not
talking
negating
about your
their experience.
own.
Yeah.
And you're also not preaching कि आप ये कर लें.
Bilkul. I'm not doing
अपनी
that.
बात कर रही हैं.
Yeah.
It might have been offensive if it was somebody who had not gone through it themselves and was on the outside.
Oh, and saying you're overthinking.
And be like, हाँ ये कर लो. So that's offensive.
Yeah,
if you're talking about your journey, that's fine.
Yeah. So I'm not even joking. Like, when I came back from my first session of chemotherapy, I had gone with my husband. Everyone was just like, okay, Zahra aa gayi, Zahra beto, wo Zahra aa gayi, Zahra ko chahiye. And I'm just like, I was like so chill. I was like, guys, I want to go to Dolmen Mall. I need to get myself a few things. And the day of my chemotherapy, I just literally drove myself to Dolmen Mall, wore my mask and everything, and I just went and bought myself. I wanted to wear like a nice outfit for my next chemo session, so I went to go buy myself that. So like, you would expect ke chemotherapy ke time pe aap jaake bistar mein let jaoge aur aap matlab, you're done for the day or the next week or whatever. But in that moment in time, I really was so assured of what my body was going through. I was like, I'm feeling fine, so I can go out and just do it. Like, I can go out and not party, but like I can go out and meet my friends. I can go to the Dolmen Mall or whatever, and I'm not trying to say that I didn't have any bad days. I had some really bad days as well, which I'll talk about. But I'm just saying that my mindset was such that if I knew that I wasn't feeling any kind of physical pain, then I wasn't. Like, let's savor this moment the most and just, be grateful for it.
Again, ये शायद कुछ लोगों को थोड़ा अजीब लगे, but while you were going through it, were you able to, in your mind, go somewhere else? Like, while it's happening and you're like, I'm now think about being with God or having that conversation, like, I'm not here. Happy thoughts type jo hota hai.
Happy thoughts. Nahin, I honestly, like, it just, everything happened so naturally. It wasn't even some crazy, like, fight against the reality for me. It was just, it is what it is, and if I'm feeling good, then just be good with it. Like, I didn't overthink anything. I didn't overthink my diagnosis. I didn't overthink my prescriptions. I didn't overthink my treatment plan. They told me I have to do 16 sessions of chemotherapy. I have to go through surgery. I have to go through radiation. So one thing most of my cancer buddies went through was to take each day as it comes. And that's very important. So while I was going through chemotherapy, I didn't think about the future where I had to go through surgery. I was like, jab wo time aayega tab main uske bare mein sochungi. Because if you start thinking about those things constantly, you could go crazy. And I made an active decision to not let myself go crazy us lihaz se.
So let's do the journey.
Yeah.
You did the self-examination.
Yeah.
Then you went to the doctor and you said, "Kuch scene bad
Good scene hai, check kar le." And she said, yes, go get your mammogram and ultrasound done. ठीक है? So I went and got those done. Then I went to the doctor, Dr. Shaista, who is a breast surgeon, and she sits at South City, and unka naam sabse zyada known hai. I even went on like these group soul sisters, soul bitches to check, who are the best doctors to go through this. And I'll be honest, like it was very difficult for me to get information. Like I didn't have anyone my age in Pakistan who has gone through this journey. Yeah. I don't know anyone. My only person was Nosheen, but वो Saudi Arabia में रहती है. तो उसकी journey मैंने follow की, उसके सारे steps मैंने देखे. But I couldn't relate as much because hospital was different, etc., etc. So over here, I had to like choose, okay, which doctor should I go to? I had a couple of names in front of me, and then I just went to Dr. Shaista because it was walk-in. So being walk-in is just the best at that moment in time of urgency. You can't afford to take appointments. So then she checked me, and she asked me all the questions, and she said you need to get a biopsy done. So I went, and a biopsy is basically injecting needles inside the tumor and extracting tissue, and then they send it for testing to check, is it cancer, is it malignant, is it benign, is it, what kind of cancer is it, how fast is it growing, etc. तो 2 हफ्ते बाद वो result आना था, ठीक है? And in those 2 weeks you're just like, is this going to be it or not? Like, is this going to be cancer or not? And I was thinking, okay, whatever moves I make in these next 2 weeks, whether they're good or bad, will define whether I will get cancer or not. Like, it'll define whether God gives it to me or not.
Is Santa giving you cancer? Will I be a good girl or
exactly, literally, I felt
that. Will I get a lump of coal this Christmas?
I literally felt that because I was like, karma, right?
और वो भी 2 हफ्ते का.
2 हफ्ते का.
बाकी जिंदगी delete हो गई.
Literally.
Right now God is deciding.
Yeah. So basically something happened which I don't want to talk about.
Okay.
But it was a bad thing, basically. Something not bad that I did. I didn't do anything, but I could have reacted in a better way. But I didn't. And I feel like because I didn't, that's why my reports came positive. As crazy as that sounds, but I literally knew in that moment, after I had decided not to react better, I was like, this is it. This is it. This is going to define my results. So literally after 2-3 days of that incident, the reports came. I got a message on my phone. And they said, come collect your reports. I was like, okay. And this is 7:30 in the night. I was like, okay. I went to Zahra Khan's lab and picked up my reports. And mere samne reports hain that literally tell me. You expect कि अब doctor के सामने होंगे and they're going to bring the reports and they're going to be like, I'm sorry to say this, Zahra, लेकिन आपको cancer है. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं हुआ.
Paper आता है.
Yeah, literally there was no drama to it, man. Like what I was expecting.
You want like a gender reveal birthday party?
Yeah, I was expecting that.
So what did you expect? You will go to Zahra Khan, वहाँ एक पिनियाटा लगा हुआ होगा, like blue pops out. It's fine if pink pops out. Like
it's cancer. I was expecting at least a doctor walking me through this and telling me it, ठीक है? Which didn't happen. It was
the doctor was at South City now.
Regardless, 7:30 p.m. pe, I told my friends abroad, this is the result. They're like, Zahra, why are you reading your own report? Like, who the hell reads their own report of cancer? Like, usually someone takes you through it. And here I am trying to understand, ye carcinoma kya hota hai? So me and my husband have our reports in front of us and we're literally Googling every single word. And हमें उस टाइम पे कार्सिनोमा का भी इतना नहीं पता था, honestly. Like we know what carcinogens is. सामने कार्सिनोमा लिखा हुआ है.
क्या
होता
है?
इस क्या होता है? Cancer होता है.
अच्छा.
Literally it means cancer. So we Googled it and it kept showing cancer. And we're like, so does this mean I have cancer? And Babar's like, I think so. I'm like, shit.
It tells you how you got the cancer. It says cancer, no ma, yes, bap. Because marks in आया ना.
Really?
नहीं I'm Zahra.
What the hell? I didn't get it. मेरे सर से तो गुजर गया वो.
So you Googled.
Yeah.
And did you feel like end of the world, or were you?
No, I didn't feel like end of the world. I was like, damn. I was like, what the hell, man? That, like, I was irritated. Not even like in shock. I was like, yaar, what an annoyance. I was literally like, ye khwari hogi. I swear in my head, I was like, ye to khwari hogi. And it's so messed up because I was thinking...
You make it sound like traffic on जा रहा है.
Dude.
अबे यार, road बंद है.
Yeah, literally, Allah maaf kare. Because I don't want, like, honestly, this can sound very insensitive. But this is honestly the kind of person that I am and what I was going through, Tika. I did cry. It's not like I didn't cry. I did cry. I was like, what the hell ye ho gaya mujhe. It was shocking, but not like I wasn't in a complete state of shock. I was literally like, this is a huge disturbance in my life. I was like, iski kya zarurat thi? And then at the same time, it's so messed up. I was thinking treatment honi hogi ye wo, and I'm like, how are we gonna pay for this? I was like, what the hell? Like, oh my god, ab iske paise ka bhi sochna hai. And I didn't realize, and you know, like I have a corporate job. I didn't realize, because I've never used it, that I have health insurance. I didn't think of it as the first thing. Oh man, I have health insurance. Job. Yeah, I have a great job. It wasn't even like, you know, at the back of my head. And I was like, oh, I have insurance. Babar has insurance for his spouse. So I was like, damn. So then I was speaking to my boss, Sarah, and I was updating her through it all. And she was absolutely amazing about it. Very supportive, everything. And telling me if you need anything. They gave me complete, like, you know, freedom to keep going to appointments, miss work. It's absolutely fine. Like, I missed a lot of projects at that time because I was obviously really occupied. Every day I was going to the hospital. I didn't waste a single second. So one great thing was कि जितना मैंने सोचा था ख्वारी होगी ये वो, I was very on it. You know, like, I didn't waste a single second. Every day I was going to the hospital or the doctor and getting, like, you know, consultations, etc., and tests and everything. So then I spoke to my company and I was like, you know, what's the health insurance scene and everything. And I don't know why, I just didn't believe that my company would help me. I don't know. In my head, I was like, why would they? They're going to want to get rid of me ASAP because I'm going to be such a pain in their ass, honestly. But it was so shocking because they were just like, we are here. We will do anything you need. We will bump up your insurance. Can you imagine? They bumped up my insurance. Usually most companies don't even have, they don't even pay for consultations or medicines. They were doing all of that.
Wow, JWT.
Wow, JWT, I love you.
International hai na?
International, yes. But honestly, it's also the management.
Could have also sued them.
No.
I mean, you could have. Had they fired you, you could have. Absolutely.
Yeah. So they were never going to fire me, but like, you know, they could have been weird about it. You know, most companies, sometimes they act cheap about it. You know, like poking their finger in like random things like, ye wala nahi kar sakte, wo kar sakte.
As in, they're not the insurers,
exactly,
right? External
exactly. It's not like unki jeb mein se ja raha tha, but like still, like just, they were there for me, man. Like, and that gave me a lot of peace of mind as well. And then Babar at that time was working at HBL, so they also gave him complete like freedom. They said, you know, whatever day you need to take off, whatever you need to do, go for it. Like every week, Babar would go with me for chemotherapy. They allowed it, nice, yeah. Like, yeah, they're like, you need to take a day off, you need to take 2 days off a week, do it.
I know मैं international companies की थोड़ी तारीफें कर रहा हूँ, but this is also Pakistaniyat, I think.
What?
We're not as capitalistic as some place like US, which would have been like, ठीक है तुम्हारा मसला है.
मसला, हाँ.
I think थोड़ी वो पाकिस्तानियत है.
Yes, empathy, हाँ.
कि हम सब, I know I hate this word anytime a job is like, we're like a family. That's the biggest red flag. But that's थोड़े बहुत वो है that people you work with.
Exactly. And because I think I've been with JWT for so long and I have like a personal relationship as well with my boss, the HR, everyone. They were like honestly there for me through and through. They said take the year off, medical leave. You can take the year off. You want to bounce back, come back whenever you want. We're all yours. Like, honestly, they said you want to leave. You want to come. You want to work in any kind of capacity, even in an hour or two. You don't even have to come to office. Do whatever makes you feel good. We're not going to pressurize you to do anything. So that was insane.
Is JWT hiring?
नहीं, hiring freeze हो गया.
मेरे पास है एक्सपीरियंस डिजिटल मीडिया का, बहुत ज्यादा मेरे पास एक्सपीरियंस है. So you got the report,
yes.
And then you next step booked an appointment back with
yeah.
Shehzad.
So then she said, now we need to see if the cancer has spread. So now you know that the lump in my breast was cancerous, and now we need to see has it spread anywhere else, and that's where you find out whether stage 1 is stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. So CT scan ke time pe, I don't know if you've ever been through a CT scan, but
I have through a CT
it's
scan.
pretty scary.
Yeah.
You are alone in that room. It's claustrophobic.
It's cold.
You can't move. It's quite scary. And I don't know what were you, like, I was spiritual at that time. I was constantly reciting like Surah Fatiha. I know that sounds like Surah Fatiha. I was constantly reciting. I was just praying to Allah, like, just make sure it hasn't spread. Please, Allah, just don't.
No, I froze.
You froze. That's it.
Did you do the one with dye? Do you know that?
Yeah.
So
the dye one.
So मेरी तो बहुत ही फटी हुई थी. मेरा अच्छा बहुत अजीब सीन था. I'll tell you. I mean, after your journey, it sounds like मैं कुछ दही लेने गया था. There's this thing called D-dimer. Do you know what that is? It's a test that you do, right? So मुझे वो फील हो रहा था कुछ चेस्ट पेन्स, तो मैं गया. आई वाज इन न्यूयॉर्क, सो आई वेंट टू द यूनिवर्सिटी के क्लिनिक. उन्होंने बोला ये डी-डाइमर टेस्ट होगा, ये साथ ही हॉस्पिटल है, करवा लो. मैंने करवा लिया. मैं घर आया, मैं सो गया. एंड देन आई वोक अप एंड आई हैड लाइक 27 मिस कॉल्स एंड दिस एट दिस पॉइंट 4 AM. आई एम लाइक क्या हो गया भाई? सो आई कॉल्ड बैक एंड इट वाज द clinic, the hospital next to the university, and they said आप जिंदा हैं? I said हाँ, quite good. They said आपका D-dimer positive है. I said तो मैं क्या करूँ? ये कौन सी STD?
What the?
They said just where do you live? I said I live close to Brooklyn Hospital. I literally live next to Brooklyn Hospital. They said just walk into the emergency and say my D-dimer is positive. I said I'll go in the morning. They said no, go right now. And this went 4:30. ऐसा ठीक है यार, होगा. मैं आराम से अपना नहाया वाया ये वो. आई वेंट टू द हॉस्पिटल. अच्छा, इमरजेंसी में लोग स्ट्रेचर पे हैं, किसी का सर खुला हुआ है, खून बैठे में सारे इमरजेंसी में. आई सेड मैं भी जाके बैठ जाता हूँ. आई वाज सिटिंग, दे कॉल्ड मी अप टू गेट लाइक अ टोकन नंबर ये वो. एंड दे सेड क्यों आए हुए हो तुम, तो सही लग रहे हो. आई सेड D-dimer पॉजिटिव. दे सेड पेशेंट का है. मैं हूँ ना. दे सेड क्या है आपका? आई सेड D-dimer पॉजिटिव है. Now I can see that people really need help, and they said आप तो आए ना. I said क्या? So they said आप तो आए. अच्छा, at this point सुबह मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही हो क्या रहा है. I sit, young सा डॉक्टर आता है. He starts asking family history. He says paralysis. I said yes. He said stroke. I said yes. He said heart disease. I said yes. He said diabetes. I said yes. मैं yes सब पे yes था ना. Family history में सब कुछ ही है. अब वो मुझे देख रहा है कि ये कौन एलियन का बच्चा मेरे सामने बैठा हुआ है. वो जाके 6 डॉक्टर्स ले आया. लाइक लिटरली पूरी टीम आ गई कि ये कौन इज प्रैंक वीडियो चल रहा है.
You didn't know what D-dimer was.
I had no idea what a D-dimer was, right? So 6 डॉक्टर आ गए and they said, have you told him that you have a history of all of this? I said no, I have a family history of all of this. उसने जाके बोल दिया किसी पर्सनल हिस्ट्री है सब चीजों की. तो वो तो हॉस्पिटल इस तरह से था कि ये क्या मार्वल केस हमारे पास आया हुआ है. सो दे सेड मे बी फॉल्स पॉजिटिव होगा बिकॉज देयर इज अ 97% चांस कि सही होता है, तो 3% में हो गया. अच्छा ठीक है. They did another D-dimer that came positive. I was like, ये क्या मनहूस चीज है. So if a D-dimer comes positive, that means that you have a blood clot.
Yeah.
And if it travels, then मतलब दिल में चला गया, दिमाग में चला गया, तो you're but it's not confirmed. So they said अच्छा तो we did a D-dimer again, फिर पॉजिटिव आ गया. तो 2 पॉजिटिव तो हो नहीं सकता, राइट? 97 into 97 बहुत ही कम हो जाता है. तो कुछ तो मसला है आपको. तो I said, acha. So then they gave me a bed. And again, like at this point, people are like dying in front of me. एक prison से भी आया हुआ था वो बेचारा. Feel bad for him. But he was handcuffed to the hospital bed and he was also really struggling. और मैं बैठा हुआ chilling में आराम से. So what they did was they put a needle in me and they said इसको बस रहने दे. I said, what do you mean रहने दे? So they would just come every 5 minutes, put a tube, get more blood. At this point को 15 दफा कर चुके थे. And I was like, मुझे घर जाना है, मुझे खुदा के वास्ते मुझे घर दे दें. जैसे ना हमको भेज नहीं सकते because आप घर गए मर गए तो we'll get sued. I said, मैं नहीं मरूंगा. After a few hours they said all your tests are fine, we can't figure out कि तुम्हारा कहाँ है ये मसला क्या है. So we'll do a CT. I said, मैं तो नहीं करूंगा. They said आप करेंगे. अब वो मुझे they've literally like put a guard कि भाग ना जाए. Then they took me in for a CT scan and they put that dye thing. अब वो जब dye आपके अंदर गया, so it's such a strange feeling when that dye goes inside of you that I just flinched, right? So when I came out of the CT scan, they said you fucked up the CT scan because you moved when the dye. I said, of course. अब आपने नहीं होना. तो बस मैं CT scan भी ठीक था, सब था. And then after that, at this point, I was there for like 12 hours and I was like, मुझे घर जाने दे, खुदा का वास्ता. They said, आप सारे waiver sign करें. I said, आप जो बोलेंगे मेरी जायदाद ले लें, मुझे घर जाना है at this point. And then they said, so every 2 hours you have to come in. I said, मैं 2 घंटे में आता हूँ.
You didn't go.
I got out of that hospital. Bounced. I stopped picking up their phone.
Damn. So then you have no idea.
I have no idea कि वो क्या हुआ था.
And you didn't Google what D-dimer means?
I did. I mean, it's so अगर D-dimer positive है, that means you might have a blood clot. Okay. So there's a chance that you have a blood clot.
But you never solved it then?
I didn't. I survived. I came back to Pakistan. I did another D-dimer. वो negative था. They said, क्या हुआ होगा उस time? ऐसे बच गए. कहीं ना कहीं था वो ब्लड निकल. जब इतना ब्लड निकाला ना, उनमें से किसी ने
निकल गया.
बच गया मैं उस तरह से. So उसके बाद फिर कोई मेरा बिल आया $200,000 and I was like, ये कौन देगा? नहीं, then so the good thing was I was on Fulbright. So मेरी जो हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस थी उस पे मुझे 10% देना था. वो उसी वक्त 20,000 हो गया. मैंने Fulbright को बोला मैं तो नहीं दे सकता. फिर उनकी जो हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस थी वो 10% हो गया तो 2,000 हो गया. फिर Fulbright ने बोला, मैंने बोला मैं 2,000 भी नहीं दे सकता. जैसे अच्छा चलो इसका भी 10%, तो मैंने $200.
Yeah, dude.
So thank you Fulbright.
Yeah, thank you Fulbright. And also like it wasn't even you didn't ask for any of this.
No.
They pushed it on you.
No, but they have to, right? So if it's a US hospital, उनको lawsuits से बहुत डर लगता है.
They have to, but then they'll also charge you.
But they know you have insurance, right? So they knew I had health insurance. तो उन्होंने मुझसे पूछा भी नहीं कि ये test. They knew we'll just charge it to the insurance. So तुम्हें क्या tension है? So it's not like I had to sign up कि मुझे CT दें, ये दें, which in some ways is a better system. Whereas यहाँ पे अगर आप बीमार हो, आप जाओ and they'll be like, पैसे निकालो.
I know.
मैंने क्यों अपनी घटिया स्टोरी सुना दी आपकी जर्नी में एमी मैंने एक शोशा छोड़ दिया अपना.
So but I'll be honest, like, you know, when I also had the dye in me and stuff.
It's so weird. That dye is strange.
It's strange, but that's the thing. Like I'm not saying like I didn't overthink anything. So I didn't even ask them, what are you doing with me or anything. Like I did not Google anything. I did not research CT scan mein kya hota hai. I just would go into every procedure and every test in the dark. Like literally, I did not ask anyone about their experience. I did not do any of that. I went in to be surprised. I went in to be like, I was just calm throughout. So even when the dye was in me, I didn't feel anything, you know, like they say drink a lot of water, you're gonna have to pee after this, blah blah. So I would do all of that, but like I feel like that's what really helped me to not read up too much on anything and then react to it, because then wohi aapki preconceived notions hote hain, and you know, it affects your experience as well, I feel. So that's what I ensured that I wouldn't do. So I did the CT scan. So alhamdulillah, that came clear. Then you have to do a bone scan to see if the cancer hasn't spread to your bones. So that was a little scary. That was more scary, because there's a huge like metallic sheet that literally you're lying down, it comes to till here. Literally, it's just a tiny millimeter away from your nose. So you're literally trapped between two like things, your whole body, and it's being scanned. So that was a scary experience. Like literally, if I moved, I'd be stuck. Like your biggest fear is कि आपके ऊपर दब ना जाए. That's what's going on in your head. So I was constantly reciting, duas and whatnot, blah, blah. So that helped me through it as well. Anyway, wo bhi clear aa gaya, alhamdulillah. So my cancer had not spread. It was localized, and localized means it was contained in the breast. And it didn't even reach my armpits, which is the best thing ever, because your armpits are your lymph nodes and complicated stuff, but basically it didn't reach that. So alhamdulillah, early detection literally saved my life, because if cancer spreads, it becomes really hard to treat. It is treatable, but it becomes very hard to treat, and it's just not a good place to be. So all of that happened. Then we had to decide that I have to go through chemotherapy. So chemotherapy, the job of the chemotherapy was to shrink the size of my tumor. And then surgery was to remove both breasts, and then radiation. Imagine.
What's chemo like?
Oh my God. So chemo is the worst part of treatment, I would say, in my personal experience. But I was really happy that it happened first. So for me, it was all about get rid of all of the bad things first, and then just keep going aage jaake in your journey, right? So I started off with chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is literally like poison. It kills you on the inside. It's so messed up. Like the concept of chemotherapy is, while it's killing the cancer, it's also killing you pretty much, because you lose all of your energy. You lose everything, man. You lose your hair. You lose your eyebrows. You lose your eyelashes, because it kills the hair cells as well. It kills any fast growing cells. So that's cancer is fast growing, and so are your hair cells. So wo hata dete hain. So I didn't have any.
And what do they put something in you?
Yes, so it's
drip.
through an IV. A drip, yes. So, and alhamdulillah, chemo has become so advanced that just side effects hote hain, they've minimized, because they give you these injections beforehand, like an anti-allergy one, an anti-nausea one. तो आपकी उल्टियाँ भी बहुत कम हो जाती हैं ये वो. Before my first session, I was very nervous. I was not like in a good space, ठीक है? And then I was told that I should meditate a little. I should, speak to a therapist, and I spoke to a therapist. It was a different kind of therapist. It wasn't the therapy. It's called Psych K therapy. Which is a different kind of therapy, where it's basically manifestation therapy. So the person I was talking to, she helped me, like the night before my chemotherapy, she helped me decide what are the 3 things that I want to feel during this journey. And I was like, the 3 things that I chose were, I want to be fearless, I want to be at peace, and I want to be chill. Literally, these were my 3 words that I used. And she made me do a few actions. Like, it's very complicated. This was on call, but it helped. It helped me like mad, because that set the tone of my journey. And the next day I woke up to go for my chemotherapy, and I went in like a boss. I went through everything. I didn't feel anything at that time. Ek hota, in your head you hear all kinds of stories, you feel them burning your veins, and it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I didn't let it affect me. I just let it happen. I was like, this is only going to happen for a while. Just let it be, And
how long is the IV?
So I had 2 drugs happening at that time. About 2 hours. And usse pehle bhi aapke anti-allergy wale jo medicines hote hain, wo bhi aapko IV ke through hote hain, wo आधे घंटे के होते हैं. But you spend about 6 to 7 hours at the hospital.
Oh, damn.
It's a lot of khwari. And this is where, honestly, like in Pakistan, the resources that we have are just too limited, man. Like, we don't have enough resources. We don't have enough doctors. We have like too many issues, man. Like, there are not enough oncologists in Pakistan. There are not enough breast surgeons. I have so many people contacting me saying Falana is not taking appointments. So like, what do you do? You know, so like the system is really, it's like it's getting somewhere with Shaukat Khanum coming to Karachi as well, and it's an absolute amazing institute, but it's still not enough. We need more.
So you did 16 sessions.
I did 16 sessions of chemotherapy. A lot of it went by really well. I had 2 bad incidents out of my 16 sessions, and these 16 sessions happened over 6 months. Okay, so 6 months of chemotherapy. One bad incident was I had a bad reaction in my 10th session where my whole body, it bloated up. It blew up, literally. Because I didn't take a medicine at night. You have to take a medicine the night before. I didn't take it because it was a steroid that kept me up all night, and it would make me lose my sense of taste. And that's very traumatizing. Honestly, if you can't taste food, it's like really the worst thing ever for me. So I didn't take it, and my doctor said, Tika, like, you can try it out. Just don't take it once and let's see what happens. And then that happened. It was crazy. Like, literally, I was huge. My whole body, my throat, I was about to die. Literally, because aapki puri, if your throat clogs up, then you can't breathe. So it was really bad. But alhamdulillah, like, I was in the hospital when it happened during chemo, and then they quickly put injections in me that, you know, got rid of the reaction. And the second bad reaction was, there's this drug called the AC, where I only took 4 doses of it, and it's called the Red Devil in chemo in our cancer world. Tika, it's literally, and it's a red drug. It's a red drug liquid that goes inside you, and it's literally the worst thing in the world. I cannot express to you. So the first time I had it, I was dead. Like, literally, I did not remember what happened that day. Everything's a haze. Your vision becomes blurry. Your lips become purple. You're like literally just dead inside. You're literally like a ghost roaming around the house. Like, it's that bad. It's really messed up, Tika. And what happened was, the next day after my session, Barber decided randomly not to go to work. And he was in the room, and I had just gotten up and I walked to the bathroom to go pee. And I didn't come out, Tika. And Barber, thodi der baad, realized that Zahra still hasn't come out. And when he comes into the bathroom, I'm literally with my eyes open and my mouth open and saliva dripping. I had fainted on the toilet seat. Yeah. And I've never fainted. Like, I've never been through something like this. And that was a very scary experience. Barber was in shock. Like, I woke up to him slapping me, saying, you know, wake up. Kya ho gaya? And then I woke up and I was like, what the hell? And I ran to my bed and I was feeling dizzy and everything. But basically, I had fainted in the bathroom. And bahut ittifaq si baat thi ki Barber didn't go to work. So that was a huge blessing that he was there. Warna pata nahi kya ho jata. I could have fallen, I could have hit my head on something, whatever. So that was the second bad experience that I went through, and it was really bad. But time flew by really fast. These 16 sessions, when I think about it now. During that time, obviously you don't feel it, but like after it's over, you feel like, okay, it's done. But it's not easy. It's not something I would ever do again. If I had to, I still would not do chemotherapy again. Yeah, like, it's just not cool, man.
I get why, you know, people who are at late stages,
yeah,
they don't go for chemo.
Yeah.
They're like, mar jayenge.
Yeah.
Chemo nahi karwayenge.
I don't blame them, man. I don't blame them, honestly, because literally it's a drug that kills the cancer and kills you too. It's just that bad. Because I'm young, I'm 30, I was able to handle it really well, I feel. Usually you compare it to people who've gone through it at an older age and they have really bad reactions. And understandably so, man. Like, your body has, it's older, etc., etc. Right now I'm young, so I was able to handle it. My immunity was great. Usually your immunity goes down as well. But because I was young, like, I was going out all the time. I was sometimes eating out as well. I threw up once or twice only in these 16 sessions, but that was because मैंने बाहर का खाना कुछ खा लिया था, which was stupidity on my part. I was like taking it for granted के वाह इतना अच्छा जा रहा है, let's eat out, which was stupid of me, but
so whatever. You can't eat out.
You shouldn't be eating out. Like, you should definitely not be eating like sabziyan bahar ki, like basically salad and all of that. If it's heated food. So one of my doctors said, if it's like pizza or like hot korma or whatever, if it's hot food, then the germs from it are essentially gone. So you can eat that kind of food, but we would not recommend it.
Wait, salads bahar se are unhealthy?
Yeah. Do not eat. I mean, yeah. It's uncooked, so it's cold food.
Eat salads from like Subway.
Well, I mean, how's your immunity? If it's great, then eat salads from Subway. But like, if I was going through chemotherapy, I would never touch a salad bahar ka, wherever it's from. Yeah, like, hot food is safe, but cold food, like, I wasn't allowed sushi. I remember one of my questions to my doctor, like, I had maintained a journal of questions. Every time I'd meet her, I'd have a list of questions because I'd meet her every 3 weeks. The one of them was, when can I start eating sushi? After I'm done with my chemo. So she'd be like, after 3 weeks. Because for me, I needed to have sushi. And so one of the times I threw up was when I had sushi.
You had sushi during chemo?
Once. Please forgive me. Yeah. So, yeah. And then losing hair is also a huge aspect of it. So, alhamdulillah, like, honestly, losing the hair on my head was fine. It was something I was okay with. I was prepared for it. So, it didn't hit me hard. Like, I was cool about it, honestly. I was like, say, yeah. But I lost my eyebrows and my eyelashes and my nostrils. But for me, losing the eyebrows was everything. I cannot express to you. Like, I was like, isko bas kisi tarah rakhna hai, kya kare? So then I would buy eyebrows from Zahras. Yes, in the form of tattoos. Like, jo bachon wale tattoos hote hain, they worked really well. I'd stick them on my forehead. Kabhi kabhi ek upar ek niche hote the and whatnot. It was very difficult, but I managed that somehow. But losing eyebrows was very tough.
And eyelashes, you can't really do much about, right?
Yeah. No, but it's not. You should not take those risks, because like anything, like, your body is so sensitive to things. You should not just be putting anything like fake lashes or any kind of lamination on your eyebrows or like microblading.
Yeah. And ghar pe you can eat anything.
Yes. Yes. So like, you usually lose your sense of taste, and God bless my mom, because I would have the randomest of cravings for anything. Jaise ek din nihari khani hai mujhe, so my mom would make it for me. Ek din mujhe chukandar ki sabzi khani hai, so she would make it for me. Anything that I would need at that moment in time, because it's very difficult to put your finger on what you can eat because your taste is gone. And that was the hardest thing, I'll be very honest. For me, like, it mentally screws you up because you just can't eat or enjoy food. Yeah, for a couple of days. So like, if I had a week in between 2 chemos, 3 days I would be down and weak and in bed, and the remaining 4 days I would be up and running, being completely normal, going out, meeting friends, doing activities, anything. Not like sport activities, but like me and my husband with our, if you like cheese, Babar makes pizzas, I make cheesecakes. We did an entire market with the Commons Karachi. We sold our pizza. Like, smack in the middle of my chemo, I'm out there in a market selling Babar's pizza. Babar's making pizza. I'm selling the cheesecakes. I was doing all of that completely.
And that's because you're young.
I would say so. I had the energy, maybe. I was able to get better quicker. My recovery rate was faster.
Is it an experience you share with people your age who get cancer? Or is it also because mentally you were pushing yourself?
I think
bit of both, I guess.
Yeah. Because I've seen even older women continue with life completely normally as well, like the people I'm following and stuff. I haven't met them, but like it's all a mental game.
So once you got diagnosed, did you find some cancer support group type thing?
Very small, and Pakistan to barely, literally nobody. I had a very small group on WhatsApp, and they weren't breast cancer. Some were breast cancer, some were other cancer patients, but it didn't really help me. And I'll be honest, I didn't want to hear other people's stories. I didn't want to be exposed to any stories, whether they're good or bad. I just wanted to do my journey my own way completely, without any kind of, preconceived notions or anything of the sort. And that helped me a lot.
Were you consuming any like motivational content in general? Yeah. Regular, man. I kept everything regular. Another thing about chemotherapy was you get to put a port, it's called the portocath, insert it in your chest, and it stays in you throughout all of chemo. It's under your skin and it's protruding out. You can see it. And basically you just put the IV in there. So the benefit of that is you don't have to keep inserting IVs in your veins every week. I chose not to do that because I wanted to leave the hospital completely normal, free of any kind of thing that could remind me, yeah, I'm going through treatment. Like I chose to go through IVs being plugged into my veins every week because I didn't want this thing attached to me. I just didn't want that reminder ke, मेरी treatment हो रही है. I mean, Zahra, आपको पता है आपकी treatment हो रही है, but I just didn't want any physical changes, Do people treat you differently? Like if people see you at the Karachi Commons, are they like, what?
So my friends and everyone I know, so I was very active on my Instagram, on my private Instagram, and I was very chill about it, very open about it. So I don't think people felt weird or like, looking at me. They were, I think, more happy and inspired and encouraged. Wow, she's itni himmat wali hai and all of that, right? And then the other ones didn't know I was going through it. They could not tell, even though I had a scarf on and everything. Eyebrows were fake, everything, but people could not tell that I was going through treatment or cancer.
So in general, in public, nobody could see you and be like...
Nobody could. Sometimes I would go out bald completely. तो वहाँ मुझे याद है किसी beggar ने मुझसे पूछा था, बाजी आप गंजी क्यों हैं? तो मैंने को बोलते मुझे कैंसर है. I love doing that. I literally love, like, when people don't know and they're asking me a question, I like catching people off guard and just telling them मुझे कैंसर है. Yeah. So, like, that's what would happen. People could barely tell, but if I would choose to go out bald or whatever, then I would get stares, yes.
To feel the experience, I mean, obviously it's personal to you, but talking to people, generally Pakistan में है taboo कि किसको कैंसर है, इनसे अब नहीं मिलो या shit like that.
I don't know, but like at least in my social surroundings, that concept is not there. It's contagious. That's a thing that's more prevalent in the masses.
But it is prevalent in the masses.
Oh yeah, dude. Men leave their wives when they find out they have breast cancer. So that's very common. I remember, like, constantly, even my own friends, my own circle, tell me it's so remarkable that Babar is there for you. And I used to be like, he's my husband, dude. Matlab kya? But it's coming from somewhere. These feelings that everyone has is because they've seen so many men, not just even in the masses, in the upper class, everywhere. Men are leaving their wives over something like this.
I mean, खाना ना पकाएं तो छोड़ देते हैं. And again, not the masses.
Yeah, exactly.
वो अम्मी अब्बू का ख्याल नहीं रख रही थी. अबे तो वो इसलिए थोड़ी तुमने शादी की थी यार.
Exactly. And then I remember when I was going through my radiation, so there was this lady who was like constantly staring at me, and then she asked me कि आपके husband ने आपको allow कर लिया था surgery करने के लिए? Allow, yeah. So the word allow, so I was first really taken aback. I was like, क्या मतलब allow? मतलब मेरी जिंदगी, my life was at threat. So, but then I held myself back and I was like, obviously, she's coming from somewhere. This is what is common in Pakistan. Men don't support their wives. They're not there. They, like a lot of men I know would just, you know, their wives would go live at their mother's house and live there alone and just make it the problem of, you know, her parents, you know. But Babar shifted with me, you know. There are a lot of social stigmas to
नहीं उसको भी तो डरता है ना कैंसर टावर से.
Yeah. उसको भी निकलना था वहां से. हाँ.
मैं भी निहारी खाऊंगा.
Yeah, so like you know, there's a huge stigma for a boy living at his in-laws, but he didn't care. So that was good on his part. He was obviously very much there for me, a huge emotional support for me, which really helped me a lot. Like he was the one who also encouraged me and helped me to make the decision of going through a double mastectomy, which is the surgery, a removal of both breasts. Because he was like, your life is at threat, dude. I was thinking of things like, you know, breastfeeding मैं कैसे कर पाऊंगी अपने बच्चे की ये वो. And he's like, how can you
2022 चल रहा है.
I know. I was like, these were the things that were in my head. And he was like, how can you risk your life for a baby that doesn't even exist right now? And who's to know you'll even be able to breastfeed? Not everyone can breastfeed, you know. It's a thing. So like, how can you do that? So it was that kind of encouragement as well. Maybe there was that comfort that it's coming from a male figure, my husband, who is helping me with this decision, that really gave me that confidence to go for it.
Maybe you should have called Babar on the podcast instead.
This is what everyone says to me. I don't know if you've seen his LinkedIn post. He did a LinkedIn post about us. Tika, lovely post. Okay, God bless him. Tika. It reached 75,000 likes.
Nice.
Dude, LinkedIn pe itna kabhi nahi milta. We are being featured in articles and newspaper publications in India. We became viral in India. Can you imagine? And everyone's like, husband whose wife breast cancer, like, you know, all the attention was on Babar.
I love being a man in Pakistan.
It was all about Babar. My boss came in to meet me the other day and she was just like, where's Babar? I need to take a selfie with him. I'm like, you don't need to take a selfie with me. No.
अरे वो देखो बाबर की बीवी जा रही है.
Exactly. Babar ki biwi. Babar ki biwi.
What was the post about? Like, what did it say?
He was basically talking about how supportive our organizations have been and how important empathy and just understanding what people are going through is, like how important that is, and just basically talking about how these last couple of months had been very tough on us and the support that, you know, we had gotten from everyone. So yeah, it was that was what the post was about. It had a couple of our pictures and it literally blew up LinkedIn.
Sweet.
Yeah.
In general, for people who can't afford, is a place like Shaukat Khanum and Indus Hospital.
Yes.
I guess yही options.
Yes, those are the options. The great thing about Shaukat Khanum is that it does not discriminate. So if I went with my case, they'd probably kick me out, and they would take someone who's more able to, someone who's not able to afford it, you know. They're very transparent like that. They won't even take me through any kind of connection, any kind of, sweet, you know, whatever. They're very thorough like that.
Sometimes people go after them because they don't take every cases, but I think they also have to calculate ना कि अगर किसी का late stage है,
yes,
और chances कम है.
बिल्कुल.
I mean, as harsh as that sounds, if you have limited resources, maybe that's the right call to make. कि अगर किसी का early stage है, and the chances of survival are higher, greater putting the resources there as opposed to late stage.
Exactly. And I really respect that about them. Honestly, what an institute, honestly. And the quality of treatment, the doctors, everything that they have is insane. They're available in Lahore. They're opening one here in Karachi, and I'm so excited for it, honestly, because I really respect Shaukat Khanum and the things that they've been doing, the way they've been fundraising, spreading awareness, doing everything that they can. Just kudos to them. Yeah.
So after chemo, then comes radiation.
No, then came surgery, removal of the breasts. And before that, I went to Thailand. So I was like, but after chemotherapy, I asked my doctor, I was like, how long can I do my surgery in? And she said, 3 weeks. I'm like, can you make it 4 weeks so that I can go on holiday? Yeah. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yes, hello. Like, I won't be able to travel after my surgery instantly. I need to go. And she said, okay, fine, let's make it 4 weeks. So then I got the go ahead from her. And Babar and I, we went to Thailand, we went to the Koh Samui, we went to the beaches. I remember him and we went snorkeling, and at that time I was like, I will have to go out bald, man. Like, I'll have to be in my swimming costume and bald and like just swimming in the ocean. It was so funny to watch. The videos were hilarious. But like, we did that, man. We had such an amazing time. We both really deserved it. We deserved, after everything that we had been through in the last 6 months. So we really made this trip happen. My mom was like, nahin jao, abhi tumhari immunity, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I am fine, dude. I'm fine. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to take things slow. I'm going to have a good time. So we went. And I came back from Thailand, and the next day was my surgery. So I didn't even have time to think about it, and I swear that was the best decision ever. Aapko hote cold feet and whatnot, surgery on it while I've never been through surgery. Anesthesia, everything. So it was the first, and I didn't look up anything either.
You went under general, right?
Yeah, general. Wow, what a thing general anesthesia is, man. I love it. Like, honestly, wow.
I agree. It's a trip.
It's a trip.
I've had surgery.
You've had surgery? Wow, man. It's so underrated. Like, why don't people talk about how cool it is?
People do.
They do? Okay, I don't know about this.
मैंने तो एनेस्थीसियोलॉजिस्ट को भी बोला है कि कोई तरीका है जरा लाने का बाहर. It's morphine, right?
Acha, I don't even know anything.
I think that in some hospitals they give you morphine.
Okay. Yeah. I don't even know what they did.
Pain management के लिए morphine देते हैं ना. Especially US में बहुत problem है. What else? I'm blanking on the name.
Yeah.
Benzos, but they give you for pain management, and then you get addicted. So US में ये बहुत problem है that pain management की जो pills देते हैं वो people just get addicted, and it's a lifelong problem.
Damn.
Yeah. Jordan Peterson, जो सबको बोलता रहता है, you need to take responsibility for your life. He got addicted to benzos, and then he had to go to rehab.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I did not know this.
So you went under.
Yeah, I went under.
Did you trip?
What do you mean?
Did you have like weird
thoughts? No. So I remember
dreams?
Exactly what happened. I don't even like. I keep replaying it in my head because it was so cool. I replay like literally going into the operation theater. I replay what the doctor said to me at that time, the anesthesiast, and how literally I just blanked out in like while speaking. And my dreams were nothing amazing, nothing great, but I just remember that I was constantly playing me being in the hospital and getting ready for surgery. So that was in my head while surgery was happening. And then you just wake up and it's all over. Like, you don't even feel time pass. You're just like, wow, I didn't feel a thing and it's done already. I woke up and I was literally looking and I was just like, wow, dude, it's over. It's insane, man. I was like, this is the best way to have surgery. Like, and I didn't feel anything.
That's the only way to have surgery. That's how everybody does.
Yes.
आप ऐसे बोल रही है जैसे आपने डिस्कवर किया कुछ नहीं.
I was like, people need to go through this, man. Like, this is not bad.
मतलब शुगल में लोग सर्जरी ना कराना शुरू हो जाए. That's how everybody gets surgery.
I guess so. I didn't know. I was just so aloof. Like this, once again, first-hand experience. My family, my direct family, immediate family, no one's been through any of these things, right? So I didn't know these stories. I wasn't exposed to any of these stories or anything. I didn't let myself get exposed to these stories. So like, I just didn't know. So it was all like, wow for me. The wo hua, and then I stayed in the hospital and I didn't feel anything. Like, pain wise, it's discomfort, obviously. Like your breasts have gone, tika. Walking straight and everything. It was all discomfort, but it was manageable. And
does it affect your life as in physically?
No, but you obviously look physically different.
Obviously.
And I'm not gonna say I'm completely okay. I do have my dark thoughts. I need to start therapy for sure about this, because it does affect me now. So the funny thing is, during treatment, I was like this crazy warrior and I was just like at it. But now that treatment's over, I do have trouble sleeping. I do have epiphanies. Oh my God, they're gone. Oh my God, like a woman is supposed to look a certain way is what we've been taught constantly. And once that is gone, what do? There are options for reconstruction, which I don't want to go through right now because it's a lot of pain. Having implants is very difficult, from what I know. Like it really messes up your system, your body system, etc., etc. So like I haven't made any of those decisions. I'm going to make those decisions aram se. Abhi, matlab, literally my treatment ended beginning of November, and so I'm just gonna give myself some time. But
you're like ek aur Thailand trip to lag sakta hai.
Ek aur Thailand trip bas kar le before the next
New Year's in Thailand ho jaye.
Yeah.
And then uske baad radiation.
Radiation was a breeze. Wow. Radiation also, like, God bless technology and how great it's become, because I did not feel a single thing. You don't feel radiation happening to you. You're just lying underneath the machine and you don't feel anything at all. Yeah, so that would happen every single day. I had to go every day to Zahra Khan Stadium, which is very far away. Every day, man. 5 days a week for 4 weeks. So,
and just have to lie there for how long?
2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes, like a minute. Yeah. That's it.
No, that doesn't.
Yeah, so I was basically going to Zahra Khan every day for 15 minutes, end to end, jo pura like procedure hota, like payment and everything, blah blah.
And what's the point of radiation?
Okay, yeah. So this is so messed up. Cancer is so manhoos.
It can come back.
It can come back, but even after chemotherapy has gone through everything in your body to kill off any kind of cell. Even after surgery, removing everything. By the way, after chemotherapy, my results came. I did a CT scan and I was clear. Alhamdulillah, I was absolutely clear. The chemo worked really well on my cancer. Tika? There were no traces of it. But I still went through surgery. I still removed everything. And even after the surgery report, usme bhi pura clear aaya, alhamdulillah. It was all gone, all gone. But still, I had to go through radiation. Because cancer ka ek bhi cell agar reh gaya na, it can end up plotting itself in my knee or anywhere else in my body, in my stomach, and then start growing there. So radiation, the point of radiation is to even kill off those tiny effing cells, yeah, of cancer. Like that's what the purpose of radiation will be every day for 20 days. So that's like the mamla of cancer is just insane, man.
And they really don't know why, because मैं भी पढ़ता रहता हूँ कि अब ज़्यादा हो रहा है कैंसर लोगों को in general.
Yeah.
But they don't know कि क्या वजह है.
There's so many millions of reasons. You can never be able to point it out. Yeah. So, yeah, man, like, You can't. And it's better to not get into that conversation of kaise hua, because that could drive you mad.
I mean, individually. Yeah. But in general, scientists should figure out कि अगर even 5G ये वो cola या जो भी या plastic food containers.
Exactly.
That they should figure out and just be like, बस अब ये नहीं करेंगे.
Yeah, exactly.
As weird as this question might sound, has it this experience, has it improved your quality of life? Do you wake up every day with like more carton being like, I'm here, I'm healthy, and as opposed to maybe पहले you'd wake up like काम पे जाना है यार, क्या बकवास जिंदगी है.
Yeah, I wish it did. I should be like that, honestly, but you do become complacent. I'll be very honest, like I'm taking it for granted. I'm not doing as much as I should be doing. I can now start exercising, which I should be, which I'm not, because shadi season is literally everywhere, and that's not an excuse. My life should come first, but I'm not, and I should be, and I will, inshallah. Healthy food, so now I'm eating more fruits and vegetables than I would before, but I'm also eating other things that I want to eat. So I'm not like being completely restricted ke sugar nahi kha sakte ya jo bhi. I'm trying to keep it balanced. But I should be more grateful now. I was more grateful during treatment than I am right now, which is really messed up.
And you needed to be.
Yeah. So it should improve the quality of life. And it will maybe soon. Like I should get on it.
Do you have any like restrictions ke ab ye na kare ya ye na kare, or is it just live your life like you did pehle?
Live your life, but be cautious. You know, like don't smoke, don't drink, don't kya kehte hain, these are things that you're told not to do, because these are all things that can spread cancer, spread cancer.
This is the duality of man. People listen to this and they're like, wow, this is so powerful, this is so inspiring. सामने अब्दुल्ला वेप कर रहा है. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा उसको. ये बातें सुन के कोई फर्क नहीं.
Don't put it on Abdullah. He's like, what did I do, man?
You were vaping.
I'm just, so what? No, I mean, it won't have an effect on me. Like,
no, it won't on you. But I'm just saying, people probably listen to this and like, did you mention KFC? Did somebody mention KFC? Why is KFC on my mind?
Like, that KFC is carcinogen.
No, but I mean, I'm sure KFC is not good for you.
Yeah, so processed food. So one thing
am I going to stop eating a zinger? No.
Yeah. But one thing I have been more particular about, as I haven't completely ended it, but processed food is really bad for you. Like, if you can end that, please do.
We could have ended this podcast before. क्या बंदा zinger ना खाए?
Zinger ना खाओ. Honestly, because I've cut down on it, and I have to. But that's something I've actually understood and like believed in. Yes, processed
food is carcinogenic.
Yeah, I'm not carcinogenic, but like carcinogenic, but it's just not good for you, man. It's really bad for you. So your cannons and all of that.
Cannons processed food hai?
Yeah.
Cannons food. Acha, you mean like frozen food?
Frozen food.
Not like the chicken.
हाँ.
Chicken भी तो देते हैं ना वो.
हाँ, वो वाला नहीं.
वैसे तो वो भी processed ही होता है पाकिस्तान में. Even the meat that we grow.
Yeah.
वो जो chicken आपकी 2-3 दिन में पूरी बड़ी हो जाती है. वो naturally तो नहीं हो रही ना.
Yeah.
So then what's not processed food in Pakistan?
Like your organic chicken.
Desi murgi.
Yeah.
You have this.
Actually.
You have desi murgi?
Well, my mom does bring in organic chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, cool. ये मिलती है.
मिलती है. It's difficult to get and obviously a little more expensive.
Obviously.
But these are choices that you have to make. And like vegetables, like make sure your plate is like 3/4 full of vegetables. Have your fruits. You have to.
और वो भी बाहर से नहीं आप. But I can't have a salad.
You can, man. Like just make sure, obviously, like it's clean.
How do I make sure? मतलब साफ लग रहा है.
नहीं तो your immunity is fine, so you can have the salad. ठीक है, that's fine. Subway का खा लें. But like I would not, because I went through chemo. I can eat it now, but during chemo, I would not have been able to.
Let's just see what questions people had. Somebody had asked, can trans people get breast cancer? I'm assuming yes, because even men can get breast cancer.
So anyone with any kind of breast tissue can get breast cancer.
And even for men, they should feel for a lump.
Yes. No one talks about it. Like, men do get breast cancer, but you'll never have someone come out.
And a lump is like, it just feels hardened. That's what you said.
Yeah,
right?
but like, okay, everyone has different things. Some people can't see a protruding lump. You need to check your armpits. You can sometimes see it. And there are a lot of other symptoms that can show breast that you...
Like what?
Like, skin discoloration, nipple inversions, some kind of nipple leakages, all of those things. Yeah, they all exist.
Is swollen lymph nodes? कुछ लोगों के वो होते रहते हैं हजारों वजहों से.
I don't know.
Okay. Indian here, yet asking as breast cancer spans across borders and social aspects. Of course you can. मतलब प्रोवाइजो इंडियन हूँ बट हमारे यहाँ भी ब्रेस्ट कैंसर होता है. जी वहीं से आया है.
Shut up. वैसे वहीं से
You told the story.
My family.
You told the story. That's why I'm saying I'm curious to know whether the South Asian social and cultural setup background made the journey better or worse for her, and how did people react? What did they say about her illness? I think we talked about this.
Yeah, so I'll be honest, I think I've just been the kind of person that I am has helped me cope with my disease. I don't care about what other people have to say. I, in fact, like making them feel more uncomfortable about it by talking about it openly. I am going around doing talks about it. I'm going around talking to people about, not having breasts. That's a big deal. Like, my mom would tell me to be hush-hush about it, So these are things that, like, alhamdulillah, I'm not conscious of it. I'm very, I'm privileged like that. Honestly, like, to be able to speak about it so openly and then have a supportive husband through it all, it kind of makes it easier for me as well. Varna, it is very difficult for the average Pakistani woman, even not just the average, like, everyone. It is a taboo. It is a hush-hush. People don't want other people to know that they're going through it, etc., etc. But for me personally, I didn't let that affect me.
What are some of the common questions that you get when you do these talks? लोग क्या पूछते हैं?
Usually they're like technical questions. They start telling me about what they're going through. If they felt something, what should they do, etc., etc. A lot of them I noticed were giving a lot of applause to Babar. Because they're like, your husband is amazing, and he is amazing. Love you, Babar.
किसी ने पूछा वो दूसरी शादी करना चाहेंगे?
मुझे भी है. Yeah, so like a lot of credit was gone to Babar during my talks.
Second, third, fourth slots खाली.
Fourth. End with that.
Really looking forward to that podcast. No doubt she's a sign of resistance and consistency. Really looking to see how she stayed motivated throughout her journey. Was she fortunate enough to have a strong support system? Yes. So support system is everything as well. Like, when I went public about it on my Instagram, like, wow, the kind of support and love I received from friends and family was insane. It is nice to have your doorbell rung with a bouquet of flowers coming in every day. Like, that happened. It's the least I could do it.
I know. But it was the best thing ever. It's such a great feeling. You have friends sending you baskets of goodies, food, fruits, healthy things, everything. It feels good. So I would encourage everyone to talk about it. Honestly, talk about, and if you're going through anything for that matter, like any kind of, not just disease, but anything that's negative of sorts or whatever, seen negatively, talk about it. It gives other people so much more encouragement and himmat that I'm not the only one who's going through it.
It's sometimes we fear the worst person on the internet, and then we shrink ourselves in fear of that person who doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
So I've always said there's a lot of strength in being vulnerable. And it gives, yes, people might weaponize that against you, but it also strengthens the people who really need it in that time. So I'm sure even listening to this podcast.
Absolutely. Like people who aren't even going through breast cancer found so much himmat in my talks or whatever for anything else that they're going through, you know, because it makes them feel like, okay, I can do this too, you know.
And everybody has their own journey, right? Like what was chemo to you could be something else, and वो किसी का भी belittle नहीं करना चाहिए. सबके अपने अपने experiences होते हैं, सबकी अपनी anxiety होती है. Literally, maybe talking to a boss for somebody is just like getting an IV, like it's that bad. But maybe listening to you, they'll be like, okay, this is one way to do it. Meditation, gratitude, buzzwords होते हैं. But I think once somebody talks about their life, they're like, oh, these are tangible things. These are not just...
I didn't even know about the concept of practicing gratitude till later.
And then
when I learned about it, I was like, I think I was doing this whole time. Like during my chemotherapy, I was technically practicing it without knowing that I was.
अभी किसी से मैंने यही, I told them my word of the year for 2022 was gratitude, and they said, मेरे लिए तो नहीं काम करता. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, no, I'm grateful. I'm like, yeah, but you need to practice it, right? Like, I know mojo sound करता है थोड़ा, but no, just waking up being like, oh, and even if you don't believe it, that's the beauty of gratitude. If you repeat it enough times, your body internalizes it. So even if it sounds like bullshit to you for 6 months, 7वें month tak you will grind down your brain and your body to believe it.
Yeah, literally.
My mom is recently diagnosed with breast cancer stage 2. Would like to know what type of diet change she went through and what other possible tips she can give for women who are battling this. Diet, so I think we covered. Tips.
Yeah, as in like especially during treatment, like I had a lot of carrot juice, coconut water, ginger and haldi in all of my drinks, like kavas. Every morning I had adrak kava. Adrak is really good for your immunity. Haldi. So those were things I had every day, and I feel like that did help.
That's why when we gave you chai, you're like, is this adrak chai? You're like, hey, normal chai is, I guess, itna adrak pee liya. Now you're like, har cheez mein hi adrak hai.
Oh my god, yeah, probably. Yeah, so adrak is really good, and then just have fruits and vegetables. But if your mom wants to have anything that she wants to have except for sushi, have it, because literally the days that you can eat anything, just eat it.
किसी ने अच्छी नीयत से कुछ किया where you are like, ये मत करें अगर किसी को breast cancer है, don't go say this or do this. Because sometimes even well-intentioned people make mistakes.
I'll be honest, whenever I spoke to my friends, I used to tell them, tell me about your lives. Give me some gossip. Like, just talk to me normally, you know? I don't mind talking about my experience and what I've been through, and they would always want updates, and I'd give them. But I'd be like, you better give me something in return. You talk to me about what you're going through. Talk to me about anything fun and spicy happening in, you know, our friend circles or whatever. Like, just talk to me about fun stuff as well. So like, you know, meet people, meet the person going through it, and just be normal with them, you know. Don't tiptoe around them and like be all careful, you know. I personally love joking about cancer, and that was my favorite thing, and I would love it when my friends would as well, because I don't know, it just makes everything more lighter.
How does breast cancer develop? What are the main reasons? I guess
I can't answer that. Yep. Yeah.
As a breast oncologist practicing in the US, I want to know what kind of social stigma is attached to breast cancer in Pakistan, because the attitude is very open and supportive here in the USA. Do you feel invisible or isolated? Do you get smothered with attention and unsolicited advice?
I think generally, I won't talk about my experience, but I do feel women probably do feel isolated in Pakistan. Because it's a taboo. So you can't even talk about it. You're too scared to talk about it. It's all hush-hush. Even people around you, your own family wants to keep it hush-hush because, God forbid, Mia chhod de ya jo bhi. So it is a taboo. It is very difficult to talk about. But honestly, like, I'm trying from my end whatever I can. Like in October, I did sessions talking about it very openly. It's refreshing of sorts to see someone like you who's been through it to talk about it so openly, and that's what I'm doing as well. Like, I've started my page where I'm talking about every single step. It's called Hey Breasty. If you'd like to follow it, like, subscribe, follow.
I can be your breast friend.
Yeah, so I literally want to be, everyone's breast friend is mamle mein, because I just want to, like, normalize it, man. Like, it's happening too often, and women should feel like, it's manageable, it can be done, it can be conquered, and there's no shame attached to it.
आप देख चुकी हैं मेरी कॉमेडी. कभी कभी जो अल्फाज का चुनाव होता है, लोग बड़े वो हो जाते हैं कि अल्फाज क्यों बोल रहे हो. आई थिंक कुछ अल्फाजों को हमें ना नॉन वल्गराइज कर देना चाहिए. एंड आई डोंट मीन पीपल, because it's a social society thing. It doesn't mean that you start using them with people casually. It will be offensive or workplace में कर ले. But in general, like for instance, breast. Urdu mein, we can't even think about saying this, right? Because even listeners who are on our side right now, who are supportive, if we start saying this in Urdu, people would just be like, पागल हो गए हो, ये क्या अल्फाज use कर रहे हो. But I think philosophically, if we're too scared to even use these words, how are we going to have open conversations about breast cancer, right?
Absolutely. And not just breast, even cancer is such a hush word, man. Like, usko cancer hai. Like, literally, I was diagnosed and everything. I was talking to one of my aunties and I was like, हाँ, मुझे breast cancer है. अब देखे auntie cancer हो गई. She goes, अल्लाह माफ करे ज़ारा, तुम क्या कह रही हो? I'm like, हो गया मुझे. Like, she couldn't hear the word cancer. She was just, अल्लाह माफ करे, ऐसी बातें मत करो.
नहीं, वो आ चुका है.
आ चुका है. It's done. Yeah.
Shit. So let's just end this with this. जो messaging in general होती है, I think बिल्कुल शुरू में आपने बता दिया था. But how do we do better messaging? Since आपका JWT background भी है.
Yeah.
दोनों फायदे लेते हैं.
Honestly, I'd say hire me, man. Put me as your brand ambassador. Honestly, because I'll be like, Abhi, I saw Shaukat Khanum and they have Maya Ali as their brand ambassador for it. They'll have Mahira Khan for another brand, blah, 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 blah. Like, they don't make sense. Why? Matlab, why are you putting these faces? Yeah, why are you putting these faces? I know face recognition, theek hai, but what credibility do you have to give off this message? There's credibility when someone has been through it, when you have a live example in front of you. And I'm honestly not saying hire me for your next campaign. You already
said that 6 times.
Hire me. But like, what was refreshing and why I was called to so many talks in October to all of these different companies, because they said they were done with having the repetitive, doctors come in and talk about how to examine yourself and blah, blah. You need to have someone who's been through it to literally jolt you and make you realize that this has become so common. Take charge of your lives. The kinds of decisions I made can be very empowering as well for another woman to hear. It can help her in the decision that she's making. The way I dealt with it can be, and I'm not just saying me, anyone who's been through it. Don't just pick me, anyone who's been through it. Pick cancer survivors or cancer patients who are going through it to talk about it. I think that kind of messaging is very important. So yeah, like, make it more realistic. Don't like, and like when you are doing, also another thing, when you are campaigning for breast cancer awareness and you are doing sales at your company, at your fashion houses, like, Khadi ne sale kiya ya falana ne sale kiya, where are those proceeds going? Is there a proceed for it? Like, is it just for your own, is it just benefiting you? Matlab, I know like a lot of brands were selling pink outfits and that's it.
पैसे कहाँ जा रहे हैं?
पैसे कहाँ जा रहे हैं?
Even do they have representation? Do they have models who've gone through surgery?
No.
They should. Huh?
No, they don't.
They should.
Like, I saw this photo shoot that happened of really nice, pretty women in pink for October, and that's it. It was a photo shoot of women wearing pink clothes, hot women, beautiful women, and that is it.
This is my entire problem with the entire body positivity campaign, that it's just corporate.
Yeah, it's like they're kind of like
unko bas,
I mean, it's called pink washing, by the way. It's a term in our cancer community. Pink washing is a term because too many organizations are utilizing breast cancer as a means to benefit themselves.
Points mil jayenge na.
Yeah, exactly. So I would tell everyone that if you're buying a pink outfit in October for a brand that is advocating or like spreading awareness, question them, ask them, and if they're saying a certain percentage of the proceeds will go to an organization, ask them what percentage. It's your right to find out.
Yeah.
So many salons were doing breast cancer. Pink sale, Pinktober sale, Pinktober deals. What is up with you guys, man? Like, this is an actual disease. It is killing people. How can you use this for your own benefit?
I have an idea. Do you want to write a comedy set?
Ooh, let's do it.
Let's work on it.
Yeah.
Show karte hain. Proceeds hum Shaukat Khan ko de denge.
Yes, sare proceeds.
हाँ.
Yeah. Dude, abhi maine
after I get paid like 5 lakhs. नहीं, let's do it. आपको याद है comedy skills?
Yes, of course.
So let's if you have the talk, you have the skills, match them together. It's a comedy set.
Let's do it, man. Honestly, yeah, I'm in. अभी जो मैंने talks दिए थे October में, I charged every company because they were big companies. I was like, कुछ तो आपको करना चाहिए. Let's just. So I asked for a minimal charge of 20,000. I was like, please just give me 20,000. I'm charging 20,000. And for me, it was, I want to do something more than just talk. You know, like, I want to be a little more. We don't have resources here. We need to make funds for them. So I was like, I will donate all of this to Shaukat Khanum. And then sabko bata diya tha. Some companies said, we don't have the funds. We don't have the budget.
CSR में सी कर बोले हम direct donate कर देते हैं.
Yeah. So no, they did. So a few of them directly donated, and I was like, yes, absolutely. Just show me the proof. And one TV company, so a channel said that they don't have the budget. They wanted me on their talk show. Their talk show. Yeah. So I said, I'm sorry, I cannot come. I mean, if you can't have 20,000 to spend for the cause, but you want me to come and help you with your content.
Let's work on a comedy site.
Let's do it.
Because I also think कि comedy एक बहुत अच्छा palatable तरीका है to deal with reality. But sometimes जो चीजें serious होती हैं, we're like ये serious है या comedy है?
Yeah.
मतलब ये दो अलग चीजें कैसे हैं? ये serious इंसान है, ये comedy इंसान है, ये कोई इस तरह से जिंदगी नहीं जी जा सकती. And it might normalize these conversations.
Absolutely. That's the whole point of this, to normalize it. Because jitna fear hoga, people out of fear are not going to get themselves checked. They're not going to the doctor to get checked. They're too scared to find out. Because it's just not normalized. It's such a fear. There's so much stigma to it.
Thank you so much for everything that you do in normalizing this. Hope this conversation has helped. It was very inspiring.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.